Okay everyone, welcome back to another video on the channel. We're back on Gran Turismo Sport with the new update 1.17 that has come out today. We did expect it. It's got the two new cars that we all kind of knew was going to happen. The Audi e-tron Vision Gran Turismo, the GRX car, and the Audi Vision Gran Turismo, which is a GR1 car. What distinguishes these two is one is fully electric, obviously the e-tron, and the other is a hybrid system that uses both electric and obviously a normal engine. So other fixes in this update is the force feedback, where the force feedback was changing on certain steering wheels every time you exited a certain game mode, where it would change your force feedback whenever you exit, and you had to keep going back into the menu and changing it back. That's been fixed now, and also the background music settings has been adjusted to a fix because it wasn't playing if you were in the transmission mode or something. That's now been fixed. I wouldn't know because I turned the music off. Other fixes and other stability improvements have been added. Hopefully that includes the blue screens, which I don't know how many people have been getting them, but mine has been insane. I had about 10 in the space of 3 hours of blue screen crashes, but that's now been fixed. So first up, we got the Audi e-tron, which is a fully electric car. It's 803 horsepower, running single gear, so it's very similar to some of the Formula E cars where they don't have gears. Some do, obviously, but some have the single gear ratio where they're just constant in one gear. And that's how this car runs, so it should have a very strong acceleration. It's running a power to weight ratio of 1.78 kilograms per horsepower, so it's got quite a good ratio of power there. It's obviously not as powerful as the fully hybrid version, and we'll get to that one now. We're gonna have a little look. That was 1 million, so I couldn't afford to buy that one. I decided to see that it's 1 million. Didn't have enough money to buy it, so I'd already bought the Vision Gran Turismo, the other version. What distinguishes these two different cars is the e-tron version has the white front grille, as you can see there. Other than that, they are pretty much identical cars. They look exactly the same. It's just that the other version, the hybrid version, doesn't have that white front grille. It's got a slightly different front grille on the car. So as you can see here, this is obviously the hybrid version, pushing out 1,274 horsepower, weighing a little bit more than the other GR1 cars that are in its class. That's where it's losing some ability. I'm going to tell you about that in a minute. We have drove this car, which we're going to show you in a minute, and I took it to a track that I'm very strong with, the 919 hybrid car. And it's good that they've done it the way they have, in a way, because I think they've launched this a bit weak in terms of its BOP. So what they're going to do hopefully over the next month or so is increase that BOP on this car until it's at around the same level as the other GR1 cars. But that's the best way to do it. It's better than just launching the car and having it be massively overpowered. So I'm glad they've done it that way, and it's good that they've done it that way. So we're going to test drive this car, obviously, and give you a very brief, it's a 3-lap test drive at the Nürburgring GP track, driving this car and the hybrid version, obviously, and we're going to get to that now. Obviously, for this test, we've got, obviously, like I said, the BOP is on. We're running the racing hard tyres. We've kept it everything it will be if you're in an online lobby running this car in the GR1 class. So we're going to take it to the Nürburgring GP. As you can see now, we've got in the top right hand corner, we've got the replay camera from the TV standard cameras, and then on board in cockpit, it's a view I like to use. It's a view I race with, and I get to enjoy the amazing cockpit that is in this car. Just looking at it, it's very futuristic. Minimal as well. It's not got dials everywhere and buttons everywhere. It's just a nice car to be in. Good view as well. It's got a good ability to see the apex of the corners, and with that really thin beam on the left hand side, it's got a nice ability to see the apexes of the corners. And this car has a really strong ability to turn into the apex of the corners and just hit the lines you want to hit perfectly. Maybe they thought the handling would be such a strong thing on this car that they needed to weaken the power a bit. Not too sure. The first thing you're going to notice that I've done as well with the brake balance is I've put it to -5, and that's mainly because the turning is that good, and on downshift from third to second gear, I found that the rear was kicking out a bit, and so what I did was put it to -5 just to weaken that overdoing on the kicking out on the engine a bit. But we tried to avoid second gear as much as possible, stayed in third gear there, you can see. The downshift was okay if you're going from third to second in a straight line. It was when mid-corner and trying to do it, it just kicked out a bit too much. Maybe the engine braking is very strong, and it kicks out, and it's hard to control it. I mean, it still actually keeps you on a reasonably good line. It's just you lose a bit of time. As you can see, the speed we take through the corners, the way it changes direction is so nice. You can hit the apexes almost perfectly every corner. It's very similar to, obviously, the 919 hybrid in that regard, but the 919 hybrid gains so much speed down the straights. I feel like it's gaining speed down the straights, the 919 hybrid. compared to this car. As you can see there, going over the curbs, it's very nice over the curbs as well, no issues. It gets a little bit of that that hybrid understeer that the 919 gets also. You'll notice that when you're putting the foot down in second and third gear, it does get that little bit of understeer every now and then. And we go over the line on 1 minute 42.6. We should, I mean, this car will get into the 1 minute 41s, but it won't. I can't believe in this BOP this car will get anywhere near a 39.1, which we can get in the 919 hybrid. It's not going to happen. I just can't see it unless there's something I'm missing from this car, but I just genuinely don't think there is. I just don't think it's got the ability at the moment on the BOP to reach that. At the moment I think it's on like 85% power, which you can see they've gone very low on that BOP deliberately so that they don't overpower it and make it just too strong and everyone chooses it. What they've done is they've released it low, and then they're going to obviously increase that gradually as it goes along. You can see though just how nice this car is to drive, the way it turns into these corners, the way it handles. It's almost perfect in terms of what you want. You know, you want a car that hits the apex. You want a car. The only thing I would say is I would have liked to be able to get on the power a little bit earlier. I did have to be a bit patient on some of the exits to the corners, which is another area where the hybrid, the 919 hybrid Porsche, is going to probably gain over this car in terms of its handling on this track. But this isn't a car you're going to probably use at this track anyway, because it's just not strong enough at the moment. In the future, I would probably guess they're going to add the power up to around 90%, maybe 88%, 90%. They're going to probably give it a big boost in the next BOP change that they do in terms of increasing its power to at least probably, if it's on 85 now, I think it needs to go to at least 88 just to test it out of that. Don't go straight to 90 obviously, because if they do that it could be a little bit too strong. So probably maybe go up to 87, 88%, see what it's like then, get some feedback on when they release it in a race, see what people are doing with the car, and then go back and obviously make some changes in the future. So you can see there another lap and we're still in the 42s, 42.9. We was well up on that lap, but we made a little error, as you can see. It's like I say, in downshifting now, down to second gear, it feels really nice there in a straight line. No issues there. You can hit the apex almost perfectly. It's corners like this. If I wanted to go down to second and really be aggressive, it just kick the rear end out. Not that you'd probably go down second there, but this is a corner you would probably go down second very early. But I have to be very patient before I do that downshift into second gear. I have to be patient and wait for it to be at certain revs, and then I can go down into second gear and it won't cause me an issue. But you can see it's hitting the corners, and like I've only driven this for I think about 2-3 laps, something like that I think it was, that we did before this, and then we jumped straight on, and obviously just wanted to put 3 laps in for a test drive to upload for you guys to see it. So it is a consistent car to drive. It's not the hardest car. At first you'll think it's quite oversteery, but then once you realise where the grip is and you get used to it, you find that you can just start pushing and pushing and pushing and just getting further and further and further in terms of lap time. I mean, there is potential for me to obviously, like I say, get to a 41 with this car, but I don't think there's any potential to get into the 39s, not with the BOP as it is now. So they've done it right though. I agree with how they've done that, so that's the main thing. And it's a really enjoyable car to drive. I could see some good fun single make races with this, just where everyone goes this car. And another thing that I noticed, I don't know if it's because the settings I had it on here, but the sparks off the bottom of this car looked amazing, because it's obviously so low and the ground effect's so strong. Every time you went over the curbs, the sparks were flying off, and it was just such an enjoyable car to watch on the replay. So what I'm going to do now, to let you guys have a listen to it without me commentating over, just have a listen to it and watch it on the replay cameras. It goes round on the best lap I did there. I think it was the first lap at 142.676. So obviously it wasn't an amazing lap, but it's really fun to enjoy. And make sure, if you haven't already subbed the channel, make sure you sub the channel, give this video a thumbs up, click the notification button so you don't miss any future videos. We're uploading Project Cars 2, Assetto Corsa and GT Sport videos constantly, with full track guides to get yourselves in the top 10 stars and stuff. We're going to try and do more of them videos soon, and obviously the daily race videos constantly, and the FIA races. Thanks again for watching everyone. We'll be back with more videos very soon.